What is a JWT token? JWT token or JSON Web Token is a standard that defines a compact, self-contained way for securely transferring information between two parties using a JSON object. More technical detail can be found at https jwt.io. In this video, we'll try to get a quick overview of the components of JWT and how we can create it using .NET Core Web API and how we can use it to secure our API. Typical use case scenario, we have a client, um, which can be a browser, a mobile application, it can be another API, and then our server, API server where we store our API. It can be one server, it can be a cluster of servers, and then they transmit the data back and forth. So the client will have a login page where it will capture the username password, send it to the API. The API will communicate with the database, validate the username password, and if it is valid, then it will create the token with identifying information. It may be username, some application name, whatnot, and then it will sign the information with a secret key to create the JWT token. But once the token is created, it will be sent to the client. The client will save the token for future, and then when the user requests an authenticated page, then um, a request will be sent to the server, and the JWT token that it has saved will be added to the authenticated header. It will be sent to the API server. The API server will receive the request. It will match the signature to see if there is any change in the token. If there is no change in the token, then well and good. It will process the request with the identifying information, and then it will send the data back. Um, and once the data is received, the client renders, the client page is rendered. So as we see, that the JWT token stores some identifying information, and which we will from now call payload. And then the token is signed with a secret key and sent to the client. And then when the signature is received, first thing it does is it matches the signature to see if it is valid. If the signature is valid, then the request is processed. If the signature is not valid, that means um, the token was changed at the client end. So then the whole request is rejected. So to understand how this communication is working and how it's made secure, it's very important to understand how JWT token is structured. And then we can go into the details of how we can create them and how we can use them. A JWT token has three components: the header, the payload, and the signature. The header contains information of the token, like the token type, the signing algorithm. Um, the next is the payload, where we as programmers will be populating the payload. It will have the identifying information, maybe the username, maybe application specific fields like the role of the user. Here is an example: user, HFin, full name, Huckleberry Finn, adventurer role is true. And each of these lines are called claims. Um, and the claims can be different types: registered claims, public claims, private claims. When we code this, we'll go into the details of all those claims. One thing to remember is payloads can never have sensitive information. Why can't the payload have a sensitive information? The reason is the JWT token is not encrypted by the server. It's just base 64 URL encoded. The next piece is the signature, and the signature consists of an encoded header, the encoded payload, a secret key, and then um, the the whole thing is encrypted using the algorithm that is specified in the header. So that would be the signature. And then the whole, once you have the three parts available, the whole thing is URL encoded, and that is your JWT token, and that is sent to the client machine.